All right. And I think we're live, folks. Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Sherman, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. We are, this is an exciting day for us, guys. Um, this is probably one of the most exciting days because we've got a special announcement we're going to tell you guys about in just a couple of minutes. We won't share it yet, but stick around. We've got some exciting things for you. And if you've been a part of Black Success Magazine for any length of time, you know that we are just always doing something. So very excited about that. And today we're going to talk about 7 ways to spark creativity in your team. So that'll be something we'll be talking about today. Very excited about it. Um, and uh, and if you stick around at the end, like I said, we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to share some insights, some things that we've been working on. I'm going to move my phone out of the way here because what happens is my phones will ring all invariably. You get those calls about this time in the morning, and so we want to silence all of our listening devices, that kind of thing. So very, very cool. Want to welcome everybody to the show. It is midweek. If you got out early this morning, like I did, at about 5 o'clock this morning, here in Las Vegas, it was 35 degrees. Yeah, it was cold, but I was all nice and snuggled up. I was all warmed up. Had all my stuff on. So very excited about keeping that up. Um, and if you've gone to the website lately, you've noticed we've made some changes on the website. So we're going to continue to do that. We're going to do some more updating. And as the end of the year comes along, I hope that you are getting your New Year's resolutions all in order, losing weight, doing whatever you've got to do to, just to get yourself all in order. And okay, I can't take it anymore. So I'm going to make the announcement right now. I said I was going to wait, but I can't. This has been something that's been brewing for literally. We have been. Hang on one second here, folks. I'm going to. No, it's all right. It's no big deal. Um, we have been waiting and working on a project for literally a year now. And it's finally come to fruition. We told you about it. We kept telling everybody that we are going to have the magazine up and rolling, and it is literally up. We're going to take a look at it a little bit later because we actually have it online. You can actually take a look at it right now, even if you wanted to. But before we do that, we are going to talk about the 7 ways to spark creativity in your team. So, are you ready? Number one, um, keep your team small. This actually is an article, and I think we got this off of. Gosh, what was this off of? I forgot the guy's name. I'll find out before the end of it. This is really a great article and we find stuff like this all over the place, folks. So keeping your team small is probably one of the most essential ways to start off any kind of endeavor. You don't want to have like 15, 20, 30 people in an organization trying to make a decision or trying to create something that goes on because create trying to make decisions by committee generally doesn't work. But if you can keep your team fairly small, works out great. I mean, if you got 5 or 6 people that are your key people, those are the people you want to be a part of any decision making process that you're making. It keeps it small, it keeps it agile. If you want to change directions, all you've got to do is pick up the phone and you're talking to 2 or 3 people. Just works out great. We're working on a project right now for Black Success Magazine and the Black Business Chamber that literally the groundwork was set on this with literally 3 people, and we've got a fairly large committee, and we've basically set the groundwork. Everything's really, excuse me, in place. All we have to do right now is kind of touch bases with everybody else, and we can move ahead with this. But this thing's a done deal already. That's the first thing you want to do. Number two, you want to incentivize the team to speak their mind and tasks. and take risks. So, and this is something I do all the time. And I know it's probably some people go, well, why don't you just make a decision? Well, I could make the decisions for everything. And then, but we call that a bottleneck. Okay, we call that a bottleneck. You don't want to be the guy who it's everything rides on you. Either you say yes or you say no. Now, ultimately, in my organization, I'm the last guy who says to signs off on everything. But you don't want to create an atmosphere where nobody will make a decision. Nobody will take a risk. Nobody feels like they can say anything for fear of being crushed. In my organization, in Black Success Magazine, in the Black Business Chamber, in my household, I want people to give me their input. I already know what I'm thinking. Okay, I already, it's in my head. I already know what I'm thinking. I want to know what you're thinking, because you know what? You've probably got a great idea. You might have a fantastic idea. And if you do, I want to hear it. We were coming up with a name for a new project that we're going to be launching next year. And, I threw out some names that I thought were cool. And every time I threw one out, I got shot down. I know these guys I think they like it. They like to shoot down my ideas. But it's become almost like I don't know, a competition to see who can come up with the best ideas. And my team, which is, I'm so grateful for guys like Robbie Thomas and for Guy Dawson and my wife, Linda, that my executive board, I'm very excited about those guys because they will throw ideas out there at a hat. They will suggest things at a hat. And that's really what you want for an organization. Is you want people, you want to encourage people to say, hey, I've got an idea. So, and if they don't, you find a way to do that. And the best way to do that is to say let's say you're sending out emails, and I do this, I'm notorious for this. At the bottom of the email, I say suggestions, discussion, because I want them to know, and I want my team to know, and I want the people on the email to know, I want your input, because like I said, I know a lot. I really do. I mean, I'm a fairly smart guy, but my people are just very, very smart. No, not a little smart. They are very smart. I want them to know it. I want them to send me their thoughts, their ideas all the time. So great. So if you like this, folks, and you're watching us on YouTube, I really encourage you, smash that that subscribe button. Let everybody know that you really like Black Success Magazine, the podcast. If you're watching us on Facebook, once again, like our page. Just love it. Tell everybody, hey, great, you're doing great things. And the magazine, it's out, folks. It is. And if you've seen it yet, you're going to love it. We're going to show you in just a couple minutes here, just as soon as we kind of go through maybe a couple more of our, I got to check my time. Always checking my time, folks. Let's go through number 3. Reward your ideas, the ideas that you get from your team, with recognition and praise. Let everyone know. Okay. It's fine for me to come up to one of my board members or to one of my, the people in my team and say, hey, you guys, you're doing a great job. It's wonderful. They love it. Okay. It's really more important when everybody else hears it. Okay. Like right now on Black Success Magazine, the podcast, I'm letting everybody know on literally, we are heard in pretty much every country on the planet right now, which is really it's very heady. I went and looked for us recently, and I had to translate. I had to translate to this show because we're up on Apple Podcast now. And when you're up, on certain platforms, you get blasted out all over the place. And so we want everybody on the planet to know that guys like, Bob Beers, guys like Robbie Thomas, Guy Dawson, Linda Ray, they are doing an awesome job. And so I'm very excited about it. I'm very pleased to work with these folks because they are they're rock stars. So we want to let people know about it, of what they're doing, how they're doing it, and that we really that I appreciate what they do. And what does that turn into? What that turns into, it lets people know that, hey, guess what? You know what? I'm not just a number around here. People really around in this organization really like what I'm doing, and that I think I'm going to do a little bit more. I was watching a movie recently with my wife. My wife loves old movies, and the movie she was watching was like it wasn't like one of those Miracles on Broadway show, but it's an older movie. She likes watching old 40s movies, stuff like that. And the story basically was of a music shop owner and his crew and the stuff that they go through. But I'll cut to the chase on this. But what made it so cool was how dedicated these people were to making that organization run well and to just be fantastic. And that's really what you're trying to build in your organization. You want to build an organization where people are going, yes, I want to work here. We live in a day and age right now where, they talk about millennials and they talk about Gen Xers and everything else. So I want to dispel a myth with these folks. Everyone wants to feel, no matter how old they are, no matter if they were the greatest generation or they're millennials or Gen Zs, Gen Xs or whatever, everyone wants to feel like they count and that they feel great. And if you can make people feel valued, they're going to work hard. It doesn't matter whether they are Gen Zs. Millennials are no different than anybody else. Okay, they've gotten this stamp on them that they're kind of weird. They're different, no doubt. Okay, they're definitely different, but they're no different than the greatest generation, because the greatest generation was the same way. Yes, they worked hard. It's just that they were in a different generation. They were just in a different era. Okay, but everyone wants to feel valued, and that's really very important for everybody's team. Number 4. So we're talking about the 7 ways to spark creativity in your team. Number 4, promote your team passion by pitching a strong purpose. Okay. Your team needs to know that whatever you're doing is not just good. It's phenomenal. If they know that what you're doing is just earth shattering, guess what? They're going to do something. They're going to put the effort in to make it work. If your team thinks that you're just kind of namby-pamby, kind of, wishy-washy, you're probably not going to get a lot of buy-in. That's why it's important for you as a visionary, as you as the head of your company, as you as the team leader or whatever, management, you're at the top of the heap with your team. You have got to share the vision that whatever you're doing is stupendous, phenomenal. I mean, it's not just, yes, we're going to work on this project this week. And, you kind of do the Billy D. Williams thing and you kind of, dulcet tones and you go, well, we're doing some good things here this week. And no, your team needs to know, dang it, this thing is the greatest thing ever. You're going to love it. We got this, we got that, we got this partner, we got that partner, we got this, and they need to know that you've got a strong purpose. If you've got a purpose, give them the why of what you're doing. They're going to be saying, my gosh, I'm going to stay up at night. I'm going to work hard on this thing. I'm going to make sure that whatever we're doing right now is just what my input is going to be a part of this. Oh my gosh, I'm going to work hard for this thing. Okay. Because if people want to know that what they're doing matters, okay, not just that they're valued. Yeah, they're valued. That's wonderful. But that at the end of time, oh my gosh, this thing is going to last the test of time. One of the first jobs I ever worked on I worked in the construction trade for many years, was I worked on the Fremont Street Experience here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And that Fremont Street Experience, I worked on that in 1995, is still up to this day. It is it's probably one of the 10 wonders of the world, because it's the only space frame of its kind And at that time, it was the first and the biggest. Did I work hard on that job? You better believe it. You know why? Because I knew that thing was going to be here till long after I was gone. And that's the same kind of thing that your people need to know. If they know that what they're doing is going to be there, oh my gosh, it could be here 50 years. It could be the Sphinx. It could be Michael Spinks. No, I mean, it could be, it could be something that is phenomenal. People are going to go a little ape crazy. They might stay up late at night. They might come in early. They might pull that rabbit out of their hat that they've been working on for a while. That's the kind of thing that you want your people to do. Um, Number 5, um, extend trust to your people and let them know that they can call their own shots. And this is one of those John Maxwell things that if your people know that they have some skin in the game and that they can do things, they are going to tend to do and be more creative. They're going to tend to get more excited about what they're doing. If you say to them, hey, guess what? Come in, I'm going to call the shots, and they're, kind of like robots, they're kind of automatons, they're probably not going to do anything. But if you let your people know you're responsible for this, you're responsible for that, and when this thing goes, everybody's going to be looking at you because this was your baby right there. They're going to tend to say, oh my gosh, this has got my name on it. Everybody there. I don't know of a person on that I've ever worked with who does not have a degree of pride in what they do, which is a great thing. Pride in workmanship, pride in your ideas, pride in your input. You as a leader need to begin to let your people know you can call your own shots on this. This is your section of this particular project. Let's say you're doing, whatever, you're creating a movie, and you're saying the art direction is going to this person, the clothing design is going to that person. You come together and you collaborate, and you all, come down to the bullpen and you talk about whatever you're doing. Okay, but you are not the art director. Okay, as the visionary, you are not the art director. You are not the the sound guy. You are not. You have other people who do that stuff. That way, people are going, oh my gosh, this is my baby. I've got to bring in this person. I've got to make this thing work. Okay, that's the way you build leadership in a team. Okay, you don't want to be the bottleneck in your organization ever. You just don't want to be the bottleneck where everybody is like, well, I'm not going to do anything unless such and such a person calls a shot. We did a golf tournament October of this year, and we started the process of running the golf tournament back in February. And it was when I first contacted the people at the golf tournament. And the person who we put over the golf tournament, wonderful person, her name is Lazel, and Lazel works for US Bank. Lazel said, hey, I'd like to be the coordinator for this project. And I went, are you sure? Because if you do, you're going to do this. Okay. And I mean, I'll help you anytime you want, but this is your baby. And Lazel is a rock star. There's no doubt about it. She sold out the event. It was our first event that we've ever done. Golf tournaments are hard to do. She sold it out. Okay. She sold it out, and she was pushing me at the end going, we need more. We need more. I go, Lazel, we can't sell any more tickets. We were advised by the country club to stop selling tickets because they had no more cards. That was all because of Lazel. And that's because I gave her the opportunity to call her own shots, to do her own thing. She came to me every once in a while to keep me abreast of what was going on. But that was her baby. I mean, there's no doubt about it. She did everything. And at the end of the event, everybody was great. We were resting. People were leaving, and I gave her a plaque, and I was crying. And the reason why I was crying is because she rocked the house. There's no doubt. And I've run a lot of organizations, a lot of teams, worked with a lot of people on projects. Nobody has ever taken the mantle of of responsibility as well as she has, and she rocked the whole thing, because golf tournaments are not hard, are not easy to do. Not only that, and this is how wonderful this was. Her name is Lazel. Once again, she works for U.S. Bank. Is Lazel? People were already asking about being a part of it next year. We've already got volunteers for next year's event, and we want to double the size of it next year. That's how. That's it's. I'll tell you, folks, it gets me jazzed up about it. So definitely let your people know they can call their own shot. This will build your team. It builds creativity. It gets people very excited about being a part of what you're doing. Um, Number 6, sponsor experiments and celebrate learning. Using the term experiment implies a test with the opportunity to learn from failure. The alternative, giving creative projects high sounding names, makes people fear the stigma of something going wrong and retribution. So the key is to flesh out ideas quickly and to close in on final solutions. So I'll give you an example of this. We were coming up with a name for this project that we're working on, which will actually be starting on next week, and we'll bring it out. We'll roll it out next year. But the idea was to come up with a name for the project. And I threw out a couple of names. I go, hey guys, let's keep throwing them out. And literally it took us almost a week to come up with something. And we razzed each other. Okay. We could have said, and this is what another kind of thing we put in it is, we said, look, this is a pilot program. So the name, whatever we pick right now, does not have to be the final name. Okay. But we do need some kind of name. We need to put a name on this thing while we roll this thing out. And that takes the pressure off of everybody. Instead of saying, hey, we're going to do this, and whatever you say, that's what we're going to do, it's concrete. No, you say, hey, look, we're experimenting. Okay. We're going to do a test. We're going to test market something. And we want to see what kind of input you put in. And it just takes the pressure off of everybody to do anything. I mean, they could say, hey, blue, when you're saying, no, well, we were talking about driving a car. Hey, I don't care. You were saying it's an experiment, it's this isn't a test. This is kind of a fleshing out of ideas. Love sitting down and saying, hey, look, just throw me out an idea. Whatever idea, nothing is wrong. There's nothing wrong on this table. Just give me an idea. And we can, who knows, something might come out of what you just said, but we don't know until you actually give us an idea. And that's really kind of there. You want your team to know that there is no failure in a suggestion. There's no failure in an attempt. There was in this article, it says, Thomas Edison says, I found 10, he says, I've never failed. He said, I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work, when he was creating the light bulb. So he didn't fail. He just found 10,000 ways of things that, that won't work. So that's a great way. And I think it's a healthy way of looking at things in life. Number 7, and lastly, once again, we've got a special announcement. I want to show you something. I'm leaving time at the end to show you guys this, so I think you're gonna really like it. Create and capitalize on a diverse team culture. It's in almost every business, your customers are diverse, and you need to understand the world from their perspective. This won't happen unless you have a meaningful diversity project or diversify your team. You can't just have all guys that look the same, think the same, from the same schools, that kind of thing. Because your customers are not going to be that way. Your customers are not all from, Dartmouth. They're not all from Columbia. They're not all from, Stanford. Your customers are from all over the world. They have different likes. They have different upbringings. They have different experiences in life. Your team should reflect that also. So bring in people. Purposefully create a diversity program in your company. And we're not just saying diversity for diversity's sake to say, oh, I've got a white guy, or I've got a black guy, I've got a Chinese guy or whatever, or an Asian guy on your team. It's to say that I want the input of these people in my team. I want to know what you're thinking, because that is going to be what is going to create a holistic or a balanced idea of what we're going to put out there in the market. There are a lot of ideas out there that I would never even think about, because there's certain experiences in life I don't have. Okay. I'm not from Uzbekistan, so I don't know what an Uzbek would be thinking. Okay. Or Brazilian, even though I love Brazilian, food, but there's things that are from other places and other cultures I don't know. So it's important that you bring in people from a diverse background to be a part of your projects. Cool. All right. Hey, so those are my seven ways to spark creativity in your team. And before we leave, folks, I said if you stuck around, I was going to share with you the I'm gonna actually show you what the magazine looks like. So some of you probably have not seen it yet, and we're going to show it to you right now. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to share my screen with you, because I know some of you have been waiting around. Let's make sure I get this out of the way here. So let me share my screen with you. And hopefully it is still here. Gosh. Oh, no, it's not here. Well, it should be here. Hang on a second, folks. I want to make sure it's still here. There it goes. All right. I'm going to come back to it, because what happens on occasion, there it goes. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you, because I want you to so for those of you who are watching on Facebook, you're watching us on YouTube, this is our magazine, and it's up. It's Black Success Magazine. It's the December issue. You can see right now, this is the inaugural issue. If you're not on our mailing list, you can still get this magazine. I encourage you, get on our mailing list. I'll send this out to you. I'll send the link out to you for our magazine. That's the cover of the magazine. It is just beautiful magazine. I just think, oh, there I am. There's a little ad for us on it. We've got all kinds of stuff in this magazine. This is actually a flip magazine, and there's articles about this, that, and the other thing. I think you're going to just enjoy it. But so we are very excited about showing you the magazine. It is in its full glory. I'm so excited about it. And once again, we were talking about this before, is that we've been working on this for literally a year to get this up. It is, and if you're not on our mailing list, I encourage you right now, send me an email at info@blacksuccessmagazine.com. That's info@blacksuccessmagazine.com. We will send you the link. The link for this is already going out to our mailing list today. I've got time to put you on it, or I'll make a special effort to get you on it. It's been a labor of love to get this out. I want to thank our team for being to getting this whole thing out. We're actually bringing more and more people on even as we speak. Next issue that's going to be coming out is going to come out in a couple of months, so you'll have plenty of time to read this. And next year we've got another. It's pretty huge. This is huge, huge step for Black Success Magazine, where we're going to be taking another step. So I'll just leave it there. I'll just leave it there. Anyways, so folks, once again, I want to thank you all for being a part of the show today. This has been Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. Once again, if you would like to get on our mailing list to get your free digital copy of our magazine, it is out. It actually is going out today to our mailing list today. If you would like to get a free digital copy for that, just send me an email at info@blacksuccessmagazine.com. That's info blacksuccessmagazine.com, and we will send that out to you so that you can share it with all your friends. Thank you all for being a part of the show. We'll see you again tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning. And, just have a wonderful day. Okay. This has been Sherman Ray. We'll talk to you later.